Hello everyone, welcome to Friday Night Lights here at the Staley Falcons home field. My name is Andrew Scott and here with me tonight is my co-host,
Holden Tidwell.
It's a very exciting game here as both teams are 2-4, the Lee Summit West Titans and the home team Staley Falcons. This is a very important game for them if they want to head into the playoffs and the end of the season with a little bit more momentum. As for last week, it was the first varsity start of Connor Jones, the junior quarterback who had to step in after a tough injury to the starting quarterback, Draven Colvin. Now, Holden, how do you think last week Connor did?
I mean, last week definitely showed a shift in this offense for Staley, going from a very run-heavy, obviously Draven Colvin moving from running back to quarterback, having three running backs in that backfield, really being a rush-heavy offense, to moving into this last week. Lance Hellstead coming back in his first week, and Connor's not being the rushing kind of guy, kind of leaning on that pass more, but Connor Jones putting up 250-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. I think if we can build on that from last week, build on this passing game, and also incorporate the rushing game that we've seen earlier this season, it can be huge for the Staley offense.
Be great to see the Staley offense kind of shift into that second gear they need to towards the end of the season now. On the defensive side of the things, 13 takeaways for the defense. We've had 3 interceptions, 10 interceptions. The interception leader is Kennison Stone with 3, and 5 sacks so far with 3 fumbles. Just a real turnover-heavy, reliant defense for the Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the defense they run, sometimes only having 3 up front. Kind of putting some extra guys back into coverage, running that 3-high look that Staley likes to show. It's really relying on that turnover game, whether you can get it through the air or the forced fumbles that we've also had this season. Keegan Wink with 2.
All right. Now here we go. Staley is going to be kicking off to start the first quarter and the beginning of this anticipated matchup.
Back deep for Lee Summit West, we are going to have number 9, Chris Harris, and number 2, Corey Lillis.
Pretty exciting to see. Of course, it is senior night for Staley. The kicker for Staley is going to be Lucas Hutchcraft. Of course, is a senior. We have quite a few seniors on the Staley team. They had about a 20-minute intro as we were getting all the players out here to celebrate their senior night. And we're just ready to have a great final home game here for Staley.
Staley spreading out, ready for kickoff with this new white look for the whiteout game. Lucas Hutchcraft is going, and he goes with a squib up the middle, fielded by number 22, Jacob Tyler Brown. He is going to hit the edge, and is finally going to be caught by number 5, Braden Kerbin.
That was a great tackle by Kerbin. Plays more of a safety on defense. And so he'll probably stay on the field here and see if he gets any reps. But that was a great tackle. Definitely saved a great field position. Could have maybe had a touchdown. I don't know if number 22 was the return man they were looking for there.
Lee Summit West is going to be starting at the Staley 45-yard line. Coming out is this Staley defense going to that 4-2 look as we're bringing out 4 linemen. We're going to get some pressure, hopefully.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got 11 minutes, 54 seconds after that squib kickoff.
Looks like we're going 5 off the line. AJ going to roll down, coming off the edge. Got a receiver in motion, fakes the jet, gives to number 5, and that is going to be a tackle for no gain.
It was a great wrap-up on the Staley defensive line. Looking like he was going on that corner blitz. I don't know if that made the offense run towards away from him, but he kind of dropped back into the flats. But the defensive line definitely had a great job there.
That Staley defense was not fooled, especially seeing that from that D-line, being very disciplined in their job, being very disciplined with their eyes. They know their job, they know what they're going to get, and they know what they have to do, and they went and executed on that play. It's going to be 2nd and 9 for Lee Summit West.
Takes the snap after a hard count. He's going to hand it off. It's going to be a run outside.
AJ Gowen's going to be there, and it's going to be another tackle for only a 1-yard gain.
Great.
It's going to bring up a early 3rd and distance for this Lee Summit West offense. A 3rd and out would be huge to start this game.
Great positioning by Gowen that allowed him to get a nice tackle for only a gain of a yard. Here we are now, 3rd and 8, right on the Lee Summit 47. Here we are with 2 running backs in the backfield.
Going for a passing look. We got tight end Jackson Smith coming off the edge, able to get some rush. Gets there, isn't able to get there, and that is going to be caught by number 9 downfield. Kyron trying to catch him, and he cannot. That is going to be a Lee Summit West touchdown.
Just ran
from the 3rd and 8.
a giant post up the middle and took advantage of that single man coverage, and it was a great ball thrown, and beat the man and was able to find the open man. Great throw.
Great composed throw by the quarterback. Obviously 87 Jackson Smith hitting a stunt and getting pressure off him, but that quarterback was unaffected, getting a ball downfield. And one of the hardest routes to guard as a corner is that post with no safety help. That's just an absolute one of the hardest routes to catch up to, especially when you're looking for other things in that kind of situation. So that Lee Summit West offense planned well, and they were able to go score, and the extra point is good. That is going to make it 7-0. Staley now returning.
Staley had a great start on their first 2 plays, but just let up a high ball as the safeties were drawn towards more routes towards the short middle of the field, maybe looking for that to stop it before it hits the first down. But now we get to see the offense of Staley, see if they can respond accordingly after that quick drive, bringing the time down to only 10 minutes and 33 seconds. Your return people for this one is Luke Bontrager, and number 17, and number 4, Kyron Thompson.
You need all 11 to really put a drive together there, and as you see, everyone does their job but one player, and things like that end up happening. I think we're going to go to the sideline, get that fixed, and go out and put them in another third down situation early on.
Staley seems stunned after that quick, decisive drive from the Titans, but we're hoping here if Connor Jones can lead this offense to a similar score.
Luke Bontrager is going to have the return. He's hitting the middle seam. He's downfield. He is running. He trucks a defender and brings it to the 35-yard line.
Ran right into Drew Grauberger, senior linebacker, and I mean it was just 2 guys with just insane force. Bontrager did get a little bit of leverage on that forced him forward for that extra 1 to 2 yards, and it was just a great drive, giving the Staley offense great field position.
A first look at this new offense that Staley's had. Obviously, last week a little bit of struggle with the run. Let's see what we're going to have here today. Connor Jones obviously still at quarterback with the Draven Colvin injury, and we are going to start out with pistol.
Ballou in the backfield. 3 wide receivers on the far side. Snap given off to Ballou. He's going to run right up the middle after a pretty nice hole from the offensive line. Going to give him about 6 yards.
Great run right there. It's really about the ground and pound whenever you get to this. After big plays, you really just got to execute easy jobs here, and that really can bring the momentum back. Just some easy first down, some easy out routes, some easy throws can really calm them down, shift the momentum, and get everyone settled before going back in.
At a tight end look now with 3 wide receivers and Ballou in the backfield. It's going to be given off to Ballou on a pitch.
Ballou breaks 1 tackle, but is eventually stopped at the line of scrimmage. That is going to bring 3rd and 5 early for the Staley offense.
Could not quite bend the corner. That's going to result in a loss of 1 yard right on Staley's own 40-yard line, with the first down marker being on Staley's 45.
3rd and 5 is an interesting situation for this team. If it was 3 weeks ago, I would have told you 100% that they were running this ball. But with Connor Jones behind the reins now, I think they might be looking for a middle route, a little short route to go pick up the quick and early first down.
Seems like there's no safeties here for Lee Summit West. Hopefully Connor Jones can take
rolls out, sees a receiver. That's going to be caught by Buman, number 10, and it's going to be caught going on their own 49-yard line.
Great route, trying to force some high balls and allowing Buman to kind of sit in that little spot where he can get that nice first down. Great throw on the run by Connor. And they're going to quick hurry up offense here, hand off to Ballou. He's going to get pushed almost all the way for a first down. He's still going. Great push by the O-lineman.
That's the momentum we really need going into this game, letting up an early touchdown from the defense. As you can hear from this crowd and see on the field, this momentum is quickly shifted. Again, going back to the first down play before on the pass, just great blocking on the edge, really letting Connor get out and having the linebackers drop down from a route that should have been his. Just leaves a man wide open for a quick and easy first down, which leads to the rush offense. And whenever you get momentum early, rush scares a defense, especially at the high school level. level, and you're able to do what you want. And Connor Jones is going to step up, nowhere to go as he's looking for the pitch to Ewan McCoy, but there's nothing, and he is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage.
It was not exact. It was a nice play action, but it looks like Lee Summit West recovered quickly after biting initially on that handoff to Ballou, but they kind of cornered Connor, and doesn't exactly have the power or the legs of Draven Colvin. Definitely more of the arm power and accuracy.
With the early turnover problems that Staley offenses have, I 100% think that's the right decision sliding there, because the next down is always another down to get something going. And that's going to be a pass downfield to Luke Bontrager. He's going to run, he's going to break a tackle, and that is going to be a touchdown for 17, Luke Bontrager.
Fantastic drag route and great throw from Connor. Bontrager's able to make a man miss, and he's just gone. He's got green grass ahead of him. That's going to give Staley its first touchdown on the day, and a great response to a rough defensive opening.
You know, that's why Luke Bontrager is the wide receiver 1 on this team, even only being a junior. It's because he can make things like that happen. That's why they trust him in that return game. That's why they trust him in that slot role, because he can go make a grab, break a tackle, and bring it downfield, as he has some might there at receiver, as we saw in the first return with him trucking a defender. And the extra point is good. It's going to be 7-7. Lee Summit West now returning the ball here.
Great extra point kick by Hutchcraft to bring the score to a tie with 7 minutes and 32 seconds left. Those for you who are just joining us, the score is now tied. And Connor Jones stayed composed in that pocket, made a great throw to Bontrager, but most of the credit definitely has to go to Bontrager. A simple drag route turned into a whole touchdown after he makes a couple guys miss.
Again, all the credit, but Connor Jones really working on that composure, as last week, first varsity start, looks a little scarce out there, has a rough game to start, but he looks like he has no nerves coming out here.
And now that is definitely one way to shift the momentum back to the home team. You got this crowd into it now, and we got to see if this defense can prevent another one of those unfortunate circumstances.
Last time we saw a squib kick from Lucas Hutchcraft. Let's see if they go with the same kind of look, if they're going to change it up. Going with a 5x5 kickoff, trying to match up with this Lee Summit West return team.
Now that squib kick did give great field position to Lee Summit West, so we're going to have to see what he does.
We have some movement from Logan Thom switching to the other side, making it 6x4. He's going to try to get to the other side, but it looks to be no avail, as he is brought down with a slight return, eventually brought down by number 3, Micah Hibbard.
I think that was a great job by the special teams unit. They let him get a little bit farther than they wanted, maybe a bit of a shorter kick from Hutchcraft.
On top of obvious mental mistakes on the last drive, starting field position is always going to be a huge factor in this defense's mindset. Starting at their own 45-yard line was not what they wanted to see going into a defensive drive. A little bit more room, a little bit more cushion here, as they're only starting on the 31. An extra 10 yards that this team has to gain.
Here we go now. We got 3 wide receivers set with us tied in on the left side. It's going to be a read option keeper for the quarterback. He's got nowhere to go.
The quarterback run game, he trucks a defender but goes out of bounds on it. That is going to be a 2-yard gain on the play for the quarterback rush.
Now, we can't lie, that is a very large senior quarterback. That's Dawson Edwards, 6'5", 225 on that frame. I could see how he trucked Staley defender there, but not the best speed that allowed him to get any open space. Staley kept him boxed and only allowed a gain of 1.
Yeah, most guys being able to get low on that quarterback, but with the 6'5" to 6'5" matchup that they had here with Kennison Stone versus the quarterback, they weren't able to fit it, and he folds outside. Micah Hibbert trying to track him down the sideline, and eventually gets brought out of bounds for a huge play.
Now, it was a great play by Lee Summit West, but they did hold on the far sideline near the Lee Summit West 37.
You know, explosives like that you definitely want to keep as an offense. Things like touchdowns or big plays, the last thing that you want to see is a yellow flag down on the field, or for this week's sake, a pink flag down on the field. That's the last thing you want. Make some resentment between that O-line and your team, as everyone executed their job but one man, and it ends up ruining a team.
Now that is going to put a damper on this drive for Lee Summit West. He looked like he stepped out of bounds on that last play near the Staley 27, but now they're brought all the way back to their own 27 after that holding. Once again, a 2 running back set. Motion by the near running back. It's going to be out. It's going to be a little speed option to the left side. He's going to let it fly over the middle. A little bit high over his receiver, off target and incomplete.
You know, things like that, it's an easy way to not get the intentional grounding. Just sail it over that receiver's head, avoid the intentional grounding, put you in the same spot to start the next down.
There's great coverage there by Staley, and now 3rd and 15. I mean, obviously, you definitely want to have those high safeties preventing anything like the last drive with 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
You know, definitely going to need some discipline here. Obviously, some mental mistakes last time. The last thing you want is another 3rd and long being let up whenever you can give your offense some momentum, who had just went and scored for him. It's going to fake the handoff, and there's going to be a flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be an offsides. Which team it'll be on? Looks like it's going to be on the Staley defense. Again, a huge momentum change. Goes from 3rd and 15 to 3rd and 10. That's the last thing you want here. Now they can really get those quick routes working, and that quarterback doesn't need as much time in the pocket, and the pass rush isn't going to be as effective here. Still 3rd and 10 for the Staley defense. Regardless of the offsides, let's go off and get a stop here.
Similar set, 4 down lineman for Staley. Ball is snapped. He's going to take it out, roll out left. Lets it fly way over the middle. Similar route to last time. He's going to find an open man. Tries to knock the ball off. It's going to be number 4, Kyron Thompson.
Looks like there's going to be a flag on the play, possibly on the horse collar from Micah Hibbard, number 3. Again, mistake from Kyron Thompson. Tough start to the night for number 4.
I mean, it was a very similar route to last time. Just found a gap in that defense, and he just sat there. Quarterback let it fly right there. And Thompson tried to get like a little fumble / incomplete by going straight for that ball. Just couldn't quite get the right angle on it. And now, after that penalty, Lee Summit West is in the red zone.
I think Staley saw something on film in that run game and wanting to roll down an extra safety, but so far in this game, being in a cover 2 has been a mistake, as only having 2 safeties back deep has let up 2 big post routes for this Lee Summit West offense, and that's going to be a run for 7 yards to start this next play.
Now on Staley's 13-yard line, it's 2nd and 4. 6 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first quarter.
Ball is going to be snapped. Fakes the handoff, goes outside, stiff arms the defender. Kyron Thompson's going to get low on him and tackle him for only a 2-yard gain.
Once again, that large frame is going to allow him to kind of fall forward and dive for that first down, giving it a 1st and goal at Staley's 9-yard line. Staley's got an extra man with his goal line here. They can use it to their advantage, hopefully, and maybe prevent a touchdown.
Situations like that is definitely huge, especially for stopping the run game, having the safeties down lower, forcing them to get the ball out to where they don't want it to be, and there's going to be a fake play. Number 9 puts on the brakes, ends up making a defender miss, and that's going to be a touchdown, Lee Summit West.
Staley defense took a great angle, but on that touchdown, Lee Summit West was able to cut right back and threw Staley defense right into the pay dirt.
You know, those are what fake plays are for. I bet that offensive coordinator and the head coach is on the other sideline high-fiving right now. Whenever those fake plays work out and you get a result like that and a touchdown, it definitely gives a big momentum boost to your offense because this defense has to double think.
That's going to bring it to 14-7 with 5 minutes and a half left in this first quarter. Right now it's been electric with Lee Summit West scoring on both of their offensive drives so far, and Staley on their first offensive drive got 7, and now we're going to see what they can do in their second subsequent.
Again, yet to see a scoreless drive from either team. Hopefully the Staley offense is able to lead it forward, keep it going, and make it 14-14. Give this Staley defense a chance to make a stop, put the energy back on the offense again with making it a tie game even going into half. That's Staley's ball coming into the second half. So if this defense can get one stop with how this offense is playing, that might be what changes this game.
Bontrager and Thompson back as the return team. And we're going to get ready to start this second offensive drive for the Falcons as Lee Summit West kicks it off.
Going to be a squib kick to number 54, Braden Sutko, but it ends up going out of bounds, never fielded. And that's going to be great starting field position for the Staley offense.
Similar to what Hutchcraft did on that first kickoff. Looks like they try to go for a squib kick, try to get some of those midfield special teams unit people, and maybe not as good of a hands team, but it's going to be kicked out of bounds, giving great field position to the Staley Falcons. See on the sideline right here, Staley defense is trying to figure out what they can do a little bit differently to keep Lee Summit West from running away with the score and just make it a little bit easier on their offense. Connor Jones now out of the gun. Takes a snap and hand it off.
Lance Holstead being seen in the backfield for the first time on this drive now, but it's going to be to no avail as he's stopped behind the line.
Went nowhere on that first play, and it's 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 for Staley.
Very similar formation.
Ball snapped to Connor Jones. Hand off, makes a man miss. Ends up getting it back to the 43-yard line.
It's going to be a gain of 2. Looks like it had a little bit of room, but the defensive line for Lee Summit West closed that gap quickly, only allowing 2 for Holstead.
3rd and 8 here, giving Connor Jones another opportunity to pass. So far, 2 for 2 on the day. Connor Jones has been a huge strength for the Staley offense, allowing them to really have a passing game that wasn't seen earlier this season. Let's see what Connor Jones is able to do here on this early 3rd and 8 on this drive. Again, no safety far back, cramming this box. We're going to get motion from number 10. He's looking for the rollout and is going to be dropped by Nick Ballou. What would have made it 4th and 1 makes it 4th and 8.
A little bit of a low snap is bobbled by Jones, and the pressure off that near side forced a quick throw from him, and it was a very well-placed throw because it could have been intercepted if it was any lower by a Lee Summit West corner.
Yeah, with the Lee Summit West corner coming down and trying to pick that ball, Connor had to put a little too much on it, ended up leading it out of bounds. Not too much you can do there, especially on the bad snap to start it. You're going to see an early punt team from Staley. It's going to be Caden Diven to punt. He's going to punt it back deep to number 9. He's going to go to return it. Lowenthal couldn't get the tackle. We have tripped up men. There's going to be a flag down on the field. And he is eventually going to go out of bounds at the 42-yard line, but there's going to be multiple flags back.
So after that 3-and-out by the Staley offense, it's on the defense to give the ball back to the Falcons.
A lot of big plays for this Lee Summit West team being taken back by penalties. I'm one to say if it wasn't for flags in this game, it wouldn't be as close as it is.
Definitely allowed Staley to be relatively in it so far, but that 3 and out by that offense was not what the Falcons needed, and now the defense, the pressure is on them to make sure that this score doesn't get too far out of hand with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the first quarter. Now, there is a lot of game left to be played, but the way both of these offenses have been dynamic and strong so far, you definitely want to force as many turnovers, punts, as you can.
Yeah, again, a lot of time left in this half. This Staley defense is going to need to get a stop at some point as they get to the running back, runs through a tackle, but is eventually brought down for a 2-yard gain. I mean, Staley has brought about many third downs, but this Lee Summit West has been 100% on converting them. This Staley defense is going to have a shift in mindset on third down and not just play the first 2.
With this 4-down lineman set, we're seeing Owen Nelson, who has not gotten too many reps as a defensive end on this team. But on that play, you could see him right there trying to get his hands on the running back and make sure he goes down.
Again, with that 3-3 look, Owen Nelson's not always in there, but whenever he is, he's able to make an impact. 2 TFLs on the season for him. Really been able to make a impact as he breaks on that, and that is going to be overthrown by the quarterback. Don't know what he saw there, whether he thought it was going to be picked or if it was just a missed throw that's going to be sailed over the head, bringing about another third down for Lee Summit West. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
Now, as you said, that 3-3 look, it looks like Keegan Wink is back. But now, 87, Jackson Smith, also a tight end, is going to be subbed in for Owen Nelson.
Again, Keegan Wink playing some linebacker last year really makes him versatile for the Staley defense. Being able to move him to a 0 linebacker look has been able to help them in big front situations whenever they need a guy down in center.
Great job by number 99, Kellen Vega. Bulldozed his offensive lineman and ran the offensive lineman into the running back, knocking the running back over.
Again, 3rd and 8, not sure a run play is going to be the best there, and Kellen Vega proves that to him by a tackle for loss on the play of what was a 3rd and 8 when you should have been looking downfield. And that's going to bring out the punt team for Lee Summit West. Some momentum coming back to Staley as they just punt themselves. It's going to be number 17, Luke Bontrager, back to return the kick at the 45-yard line, hoping for a good return, getting it to their own side of the field. Kick's going to be short and go out of bounds, going on the Staley's 48-yard line.
Now, Kellen Vega, if I'm told, was in the 1,200 pounds lifting club and is the sole member in Staley to have that accolade. So, I mean, he definitely used a good chunk of the amount of weight he can move.
Yeah, as a coach, you really just love weight room guys like that. You know, you can always scheme up for teams. You can always tell someone to do their job. They can always execute it perfectly. But whenever they're a really dominant force in that weight room and they can put their will on someone else, it adds a different layer to this defense. And you really see that with Kellen Vega, with him absolutely bulldozing through an O lineman, forcing the running back down for a tackle for loss. Things like that is when that squat really pays off. Going to be a give, and it looks like he's going to get carried by his offensive lineman, taken for a 7-yard gain.
Most successful run by Holstead in this game so far gives him about a 5 to 6 yard gain. And I'm just looking right now at this the way Lee Summit West is covering the wide receivers for Staley. I mean, pretty much no super high safety and just single coverage on some of these, like Bontrager, McCoy. I mean, if you're Connor Jones, you're definitely looking to take advantage of that.
I mean, the coach obviously sees it. It's whether or not they're going to take advantage of it yet. Whenever you're running plays like this with no high safety back, you're setting something up. You're setting up that big play for whenever you need it. 2 third downs with no safety deep. You're setting a big play, a big post. That could really change the game whenever we could have been out on 4th down, but that will bring up 3rd down on the play, possibly seeing one of the explosives here.
Lee Summit West was definitely ready for the run on that one. And now, after a gain of 1, it's going going to be 3rd and short on Lee Summit West's own 45.
3rd and 3 is always not the worst situation to be in as an offense. If you have a dominant run game, it's easy yardage to pick up. But with a counterback like Connor Jones, you're really able to do whatever you want on this 3rd and 3. Let's see what they end up doing. It's going to end up being a give. He hits his own lineman, is going to be brought down to no gain. Let's see. Staley looks like they don't want to bring out this punt team. It looks like they want to go for it on a now 4th and 4.
I definitely respect that decision. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. They were obviously planning to go for it on 4th down. And so, I mean, on that run play, you wanted to just see what you could do.
Quick huddle break from the offense. Connor right below the center. Defense not fooled by the cadence. Number 11 looks like he is to jump but doesn't cross the line. Let's see what Staley ends up doing here.
Still going with that hard count is Jones.
2 seconds on the clock, and they get no one to jump. Looks like there's going to be a timeout by the Staley offense. Let's see if they bring out this punt team or end up going for it. Some defensive guys coming out. Looks like they're going to end up punting the ball as not being able to get the Lee Summit West team to jump off sides.
And that is not what the Falcons wanted. 2 drives in a row where they were unable to get any points on the board, keeping it 14-7.
A sour stop to the end of the first quarter. Now entering the second quarter. It's going to be Lee Summit West ball. Seeing the first 2 stall drives for these teams. Offense obviously being explosive in this game. Defense has made adjustments both sides of the ball. Let's see if the defense can go out and do it again. Caden Diven going to be back at punter. That's going to be number 16, Logan Thom, snapping the ball.
Got a great chance to pin him back deep, give the defense some great position to work with.
Waiting for the ball to be set, waiting on some things with the officials. Looks like the protectors are having a conversation with them, waiting for everything to get set in the new quarter. Looks to be a shallow returner back there, only at the 25-yard line. Looks like he's backing up a little bit there. Let's see how far Caden Diven can really punt this ball.
Diven's shown he's had some punting talent on that first punt. Put him in a pretty great spot.
You know, guys when Logan Thom, whenever they're able to get off the ball from snapping it and getting downfield, it adds a new layer when not a lot of long snappers can do that thing. Again, Logan Thom forcing a return. He turns backwards, and that's going to be Logan Thom bringing him back. Looks like Staley punt team wants a safety, not able to get it. Again, talking about Logan Thom as a long snapper. Big explosive plays for this team. Ends up placing the ball in the end zone, but it's where that tackle starts. Not going to be able to get the safety, but it brings them up. The Lee Summit West offense on their own 3-yard line makes opportunities for safeties.
Man, I just don't know. That was really, overall, a great job by Thom. Great punt. I mean, doesn't let it go out of bounds. Keeps it in a nice bounce. I don't know if that was intentional. Either way, that was just a really tough position to put the punt returner in.
And also, situations like this are huge. You're really forcing a team to run the ball as they take a sack, is guaranteeing a safety. So you're really able to roll more guys down into the box, stop a run game, and get the ball back quickly. And that is going to be offsides. Looks like it is to be on the Staley defense. DeJuan Morrison hops off sides on the fake cadence. Taking away an opportunity that the Staley defense had early gives this Lee Summit West offense a little bit of cushion, still on their 8-yard line.
Staley looking to pin him back deep again after that rookie mistake by Morrison, who's been a great defensive lineman all season. 1st and 5 now.
They are going to pass, looking for the zig route. It's going to be open, but he has to dive for it. That is going to be a 1-yard gain as he had to dive for that ball. Wasn't able to get up.
It is going to give him a new set of downs, however, with 11 minutes and 36 seconds left in this first half.
First down yardage to the 14.
Use it downs. That's the last thing you want to happen, especially with the starting field position. This Lee Summit West offense now getting things to roll here in their direction after a bad return.
Another snap is taken. It's going to be a quick handoff to the running back, who's going to get a nice push, but overall only going to gain about a yard and a half, maybe 2.
Staley has been very disciplined in stopping this run game, forcing a lot of third downs whenever Lee Summit West tries to get it to work. But in this past game, however, have let up a few big passing plays, let up a few third downs that could have been stops for this team. Instead of it being a 7-14 game, could have been a 7-0 game easily without those pass defense mistakes.
Tight formation by Lee Summit West. So it's going to be a fake handoff play action. He's going to let it fly. It's well covered, though, and it's just going to be just out of his reach. Covered by Micah Hibbard, and then on the help was number 7, Kenneth Stone. He had a nice ball, just a little bit overthrown to wide receiver number 7,
You know,
Perkins.
Tall corners like Kenneth Stone really force these quarterbacks to airmail the ball. As we saw there, overthrowing the ball is thrown over that 6'5 corner, adds a different level of difficulty. It's going to bring up another 3rd and 8 for Lee Summit West, deep in their own territory. Let's see what the Staley defense is going to be able to work here. Ball snap, fakes the handoff, looks to the left side, doesn't see anything, and he is going to be sacked. It looks like ball's out for a second, quickly able to grab it, but that is going to be a sack for Keegan Wink, bringing him back behind the line of scrimmage, far behind as he rolls out, tries to get something to work, and that's going to make it 4th and 17.
Came on that edge and found the blind spot of the quarterback, able to just punch that ball out and get the quarterback off his rhythm. However, not enough of a bounce for the quarterback to not just be able to dive onto that.
Luke Bontrager back to return again. Had some great returns so far this day. Let's see if he breaks it and is able to bring one to the house with this short cover territory. Looks like the ball's going to come up short. He wants to return it, but to no avail. And it looks like they're going to let the ball roll, and Lee Summit West is going to end up touching it down at the 44-yard line, giving the Staley offense an early short field to work with, only 44 yards to score, which is a huge game changer and hopefully bringing this game to 14-14.
It was a bit of a short punt and made the right decision, of course, Bontrager, by letting it bounce, but got a pretty lucky bounce for the Titans, rolled for some extra 10 or so yards. But still great field position for Staley as they come out here. Blue is running back. Connor Jones is your quarterback. And here we go with the snap.
Lee Summit West with 5 down linemen, forcing Jones to throw quickly, breaks a sack, looks downfield, but it's going to be airmailed. Breaking that sack is huge, allows for what would have been a loss for 7 yards to be able to getting the ball out of bounds.
That offensive line having some trouble with the pressure the Lee Summit West Titans were sending. Connor was able to spin out of that very well, able to give himself a chance to Bontrager, just a bit overthrown. But either way, turned what could have been a disaster into, relatively not bad.
Whenever you have so many guys down in the line, it makes stunts a lot more effective for a D-line as they're able to mess with this offense. On the run play, Nick Blue ends up getting past a man, but as he dives, gets tripped up for a 3-yard gain. That's going to force 3rd and 7 for the Staley offense. Let's see what Connor can do on this passing down.
On that halfback toss to the far sideline, Blue looked like he could have been caught in the backfield, but he made a man miss. Caught that outside edge, but it was just slightly tripped up. And now on the left hash at the Lee Summit West 41, Staley has a 3rd and 7. See what they can do here.
Connor Jones back to snap in the shotgun. Some movement from the D lineman. He fakes the toss, takes a hit on it, but overthrows Jackson Smith as he takes a hit from 2 Lee Summit West D linemen on the throw.
Really good play drawn up. Fake pitch turned into a nice seam for Jackson Smith, but just a tad overthrown by Jones, still trying to shake off that possible, just not quite ready.
The change in this team is going to be giving Connor Jones time. Whenever Connor Jones has time in that pocket, as you've seen, he's executed his job. As when he's had time early in this game, he started 2 for 2. So that O-line's going to have to make a change, learn how to identify what's going on. And then it's going to be a beautiful punt from Caden Diven, forcing them to stop, forcing them to start on their own 30-yard line for the second time on back-to-back drives.
Caden Diven giving this defense an absolute banger advantage. And now the defense, once again, after turning this game into a slobber knocker for those first 3 drives, we're back to defensive slugouts.
That's really a change we've needed to see. Whenever this offense hasn't been able to get things done, this defense has started to let up, and that's how you get big scores like against Liberty North and Blue Springs South, is that defense loses faith in the offense, just starts giving up on the game. But as you see here, that's not the case. So the defense has had 2 stops in a row, remaining a 14-point game ever since the first 2 touchdowns, now going into 8:28 left in the second quarter.
They're going to try to get that same hard count. Almost jumps is the defensive end. I believe that's Owen Nelson, but I can't quite tell.
Not able to get anything. He's going to run, and that's going to be a tackle for loss, brought down at the 1-yard line, so close for a safety. Derek Homer, hype about that play.
Trying to go for a quick run inside zone, but Homer was all over that, and then Vega, of course, that ever-strong rock of a defensive lineman. And now, from their own half-yard line, Staley's got them pinned deep.
Lee Summit West bringing out a new formation here to hopefully not have a safety, bringing the big boys out, scrunching down the blocks, going to try to get him to run behind the big boys, but it's going to be to no avail as he only gets 6 on the play, and that's going to force 3rd down. But there is going to be flags on the play. Let's see which team it is on.
I believe it is offside on Staley. That motion kind of caught some guys off guard, but we're going to see what happens here. Illegal shift by the offense?
It's possible, but it looks like they were all behind the 2-yard mark. Don't believe it's going to be a legal shift. Let's see what the refs talk about. And it's going to be on Lee Summit West.
Just a little confused on what they got him for there.
Not too sure here. Comes out, does a trick play, executes it well enough to have their own team in a 3rd and 5. With the flag on the play, they're going to be back on their own 1-yard line for the second time. Let's see if this team's able to execute again. Same shift, looking for the same play. Going to try to break it, but he's going to be brought down this time for no gain. Staley seen it once. They're not going to be fooled twice. Brings them down, and that's going to be 3rd and 11.
Just a stone wall there is what they needed to be and is what they were. The Titans do nothing but lose a yard, pinned on their own 3-yard line.
Lee Summit West being pinned against the end zone, forces quick pass situation, which isn't the best for a 3rd and 11 here. You either get that ball quick and hope for some run after catch, or you risk taking a sack from the Staley defense.
Looks like they're going for it here. It's going to be a play action. It's going to let it fly over the middle, trying to get that same play. No, it's on the far sideline.
Great It's going to be broken up by Kennison Stone, but it looks like there's going to be a flag down on the play. Looks like it's going to be called pass interference. I don't see it. Kennison Stone had his hands up in the air, not on the receiver, but the ref with a blind eye makes the call.
That was fantastic coverage by Stone. Would force a turnover on downs.
Staley fans are not going to be happy with that call right there. That's exactly how you should play a route like that, and the corner is punished for it. Not exactly loving that, especially when it's a ball like that from the cornerback. I don't know how you can call pass interference on that, but that's going to make it 1st down and 10, starting at the 17-yard line.
Motion by number 9. Across the other side of the field, he's looking on a quick route. Going through his progressions.
Rolls out, looks downfield. tries to scramble but can't. Logan Thom is going to get him wrapped up, and DeJuan Morrison steps over him to get the tackle.
I mean, the Staley secondary was just a blanket over that wide receiver core.
You know, after these first two drives, letting up the big plays down deep, I think this defense has changed their mindset from stopping the run to not letting up these explosive plays and seeing what they can make happen in the first two downs.
So after a miracle ball thrown by the Titans, giving them a pass interference first down from their own 2-yard line, it's 2nd and 9 after that 1-yard rushing gain by the quarterback.
Gets some motion, throws the screen outside. A.J. Goins going to be able to break it, but it's going to be a fake play downfield, brought down by Micah Hibbard, but that's going to put the ball down on the 45-yard line, again with the trick plays from Lee Summit West.
I mean, it was a well-thrown ball by, I believe, the wide receiver. Hibbard luckily got back there far enough to make that tackle before things got worse. And now they are in Staley territory. Staley's going to have to become a wall once again. Nice tackle there on that quarterback. Derek Holmer able to prevent him from getting any more than 4 yards. Motion. Jet sweeps taken by the wide receiver. He's going to be able to make a man miss.
Big hit by Logan Thom. Looks like it's still going to be a first down. Staley wants a holding call there. Not going to get it.
Another set of downs for the Titans, and they're a small bit of rush, hurry-up offense. They get set quickly. 2 linebackers for Staley. Send the front 4 up. A lot of time in the pocket. Right over the middle on a quick dump-off, and he's going to make a lot of men miss.
Almost breaks it for the touchdown, but it's end up getting wrapped up. Going to be down at the 14-yard line as a drive that was started at the 1-yard line is now taken to the other 14.
Staley defense is getting very disciplined here.
Ball's going to be kept by the quarterback and is able to get blocks from either side of the receivers. That's going to be a touchdown on the quarterback keeper. Going to make it 21-7 with 5 minutes left in the first half.
I mean, just a tough break for the defense. I'm a little shocked by that pass interference call on Kennison Stone. It was great coverage, but very hard to see that they were not able to stop the Titan train from getting into the end zone.
PT is going to be up, and it will be good. It's going to be 21-7 now. Staley's ball. If they can get a score here and then score again coming out from the half, that would be huge, changing the momentum.
I mean, I would love to see a very quick touchdown from Staley, just trying to gunsling in it from Connor Jones. And then maybe with 4 minutes left in the first half, the defense can kind of get back to their old ways after that just incredibly tough defensive possession, you could say, or offensive possession for the Lee Summit West Titans that we just witnessed.
You know, Staley goes out and scores on that first drive. What was a 7-7 gain has been yet to see the end zone ever since, even though the defense has gone out and made some stops for them. Let's see if Connor Jones can get it working here and make it a closer game and help out this defense a little bit.
Will the Titans go with a squib kick, or will they just try to let it fly, give it to Bontrager or Thompson?
Going to be the squib, caught by Logan Thom, looking for a return lane. He's going to get a block from Braden Sutko, but it's to little avail. Going to be starting at the 33-yard line.
Relatively good return for Thom, who's not typically a man who has that speed, but he showed a little bit of a grace there, you could say, almost like a gazelle, trying to make a man miss, but all he could do there was run into Sutko and get a little bit of yards, putting the Staley offense on their own 33. Empty backfield now for Connor Jones. He's got 5 wide receivers to look with.
Connor Jones looking to the left side. Luke Bontrager open. Catches it with one hand just to bring it back to the line of scrimmage.
An incredibly quick out route that really stayed on the line of scrimmage. And that pass was just a bit far out of his reach, not giving him a lot of time or open field to work with.
Trying to get the pass game working here. Passing on the last 2 first downs. Yet to see anything from it. Let's see if we can get this run game working, but if not, it's going to be Connor Jones and his arm against this defense. 3 receivers out to the right. Might be looking to get this passing game working again. Ball will be snapped, and he's going to be looking to pass again. Looks to Luke Bontrager down the middle. It's a drag route again that he breaks a tackle, makes another man miss, gets some blocks downfield, and brings it to the 21-yard line. Another extremely explosive play from Luke Bontrager.
And once again, that pressure from the edge on Connor, he was able to get that ball out quickly before that defensive end was able to get a hand on his arm. Got that right into Bontrager's hand, but once again, that Luke Bontrager's playmaker, and a quick hurry-up offense here. Hand off to Ballou. He's going to go nowhere on that one. But on that last play, Luke Bontrager was just dancing all over the place and moved that ball way into Lee Summit West territory.
Plays like that is what really is going to shift it and end up in that scoring drive, as they haven't seen the end zone. Again, repeating myself, since the first drive of the game, now with 3:40 left, let's see if Staley can put something together and finish what has been a great drive so far.
Got 2 wide receivers out to Staley offense's right, 1 on the left. Ballou in the backfield.
5-man pressure. There's going to be some blocks. Going to be a give to Ballou. Jackson Smith with a great block, letting Ballou around the edge, and it's going to be a 7-yard gain for him, bringing up a Staley 3rd and 4.
Dude, that was a great run by Ballou. Even if he didn't quite get to the first down marker, that is pretty much what you need on a 2nd and long. Just a real tough run by Ballou, and he's able to stretch a little bit for that extra yard.
You know, Ballou really being able to step up as a running back, as last year, Lance Holstead and Draven Colvin were really the freight trains of this offense. Obviously, with the Lance Holstead injury, he hasn't came back exactly as he was in last year's form, but Nick Ballou has really stepped up for this offense, starting to become their leading rusher, and has really been able to get a dwindling running game to the Staley team. Connor Jones breaks a sack, but isn't able to break the second. It's going to bring up 4th down. Staley possibly looking to bring out the field goal team. Let's see what they end up doing. There will be a flag on the play. It is going to be on Lee Summit West. That sack will not count, but there will be a timeout.
I believe that was not a flag, sadly. It was just a timeout.
Just a timeout. Looks like it's going to be 4th and 10 here. Let's see what Staley wants to go out and do.
I mean, Hutchcraft's got a bit of a boot on him. He's been very consistent so far in this field goal range. This is a long one. It's from near that middle area, not really on any hash, so it's pretty much a middle field kick.
This would make it a 40-plus yard field goal, and it looks like they are going to attempt it, bringing out Lucas Hutchcraft. Let's see where they end up spotting this ball, where the kick will be. It looks like Lucas Hutchcraft will be kicking from the 30-yard line, making it a 40-yard field goal attempt. Yet to attempt this far of a field goal this season. Let's see if he can end up hitting it.
Wow, that wasn't exactly what Staley wanted. They're going to see if they can get any points whatsoever back on the board after that initial first touchdown drive.
Number 38, Lucas Hutchcraft, the kicker. Ball's going to be snapped. It is up. Does it have the distance? Yes, it does. Beautiful kick by Lucas Hutchcraft. That's going to be a 40-yard field goal made by the guy. Some energy going into this kickoff team. Lee Summit West in a 2-minute drill with 2:21 left on the clock. Now 21-10 with going into what possibly could be the last drive of the game.
Great kick.
Of the half, sorry.
Great kick by the senior. Hutchcraft on his own senior night, now back on the field to get that kickoff going. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left. And now Staley, not having scored since their first drive, finally put some points on the board late in the second quarter. That might be what they need to finally just get that gear turning and just start putting some points on the board. The defense, though, has a big job here. Staley, I don't believe, has taken a timeout yet. So if they can put some pressure on this offense, you could be seeing Staley get the ball back, but that is definitely best-case scenario. And at the current moment, Staley just wants to prevent anything from this Lee Summit West Titans offense that so far has been pretty dominant in these first 2 quarters of play.
You know, right here, this Staley defense coming out really could be what makes or breaks this game. If they let up a touchdown, that's going to be a 28-10 game going into half, making it a 3-possession game. That's the last thing you want as an offense, especially as a defense, a lot of pressure to get more stops. But if this Staley defense is able to go out and get a stop and put the ball back in their offense's hands, that's going to be huge, allowing it to keep a 2-possession game going into half, Staley getting ball at half, and keeping them in reach of this game. Lucas Hutchcraft back for the kickoff.
And he lets that thing fly. It's going to be a quick squibber across the middle. Very quick bounce. Recovered by number 13, and he's going to be tackled at around the Lee Summit West 36.
Bobbles the ball a little bit there, allowing for a shorter return by the Staley team.
And now first and 10.
Eventually being brought down at the 36-yard line. That's going to leave them with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the half. Trying to be able to get this passing game working, which has seen its highlights and seen its lows for Lee Summit West. Let's see what they end up putting together here.
A.J. Goen playing at slot corner. 4 wide receiver set for the Lee Summit West Titans. They hike that ball.
Going to start with a pass. Sit route open on the other end. Breaks a sack. Almost brought down. Keegan Wink misses a tackle again, and he's going to go out of bounds at the 48-yard line. 2 attempts at what could have been a sack stalling this drive is end up going to be broken and brought for a 12-yard gain. It's going to be 2:06 left on the clock after going out of bounds. First and 10 on the 48-yard line.
Got some good pressure on the quarterback there, but now what you want to see is him escaping, just making something out of that. They had him dead to rights in the backfield. Motion.
2 running backs in the backfield. One's going to be motion. It's going to be what looks to be a rollout, but ends up being a give to the running back. Stiff arms 2 defenders, and eventually is brought out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It's going to make it 2nd and 4 with 1:58 left on the clock after going out of bounds.
Taking some wide angles there. 1 minute 58 seconds. All that running gains him 6 yards and into Staley Falcon territory. Pretty tight formation here by the Titans.
Got 4 coming down on it. Going to be a trick play again. Lee Summit West blocker gets tossed by Micah Hibbert, allowing him to go make the tackle, but is still going to be able to get the first down. Clock's going to stay running with 1:50 left. It's going to be a first down at the 41-yard line for Lee Summit West.
Staley just needs to get a nice play here where they force Lee Summit West to make a mistake.
Trips formation, sees a receiver, bobbles it as on the transfer. It's going to be ruled an incomplete catch and not a fumble, as he was never able to fully get possession of that ball.
2nd down and 10, Lee Summit West.
1:35 left on the clock. 2nd and 10 here now. Let's see if this Staley defense can go and get a stop before the half.
That incomplete pass just puts a little bit of a stop to Lee Summit West train. Let's see if the 4-down lineman for Staley and the rest of the defense.
Ball's going to be snapped on the motion. Looks to be roll out again. Looks for a receiver downfield. Derek Homer stalls him and forces a throw out of bounds. Derek Homer almost getting the sack, but he's able to break it and throw the ball out by wrapped up.
Now that quarterback is just incredibly hard to bring down. Just really hard to see that, especially when you have him in the backfield, but he was able to stall long enough to let that ball fly. But either way, a great job by Homer forcing that incomplete pass, an inaccurate pass.
Now going to be 3rd and 10 with 1:27 left. Stop here would be huge, leaving Staley with 3 timeouts and some time left to go out and score. It's going to be dropped back. Going to be a screen to the running back. AJ going, able to stall him, but ends up going out of bounds. The 41-yard line, nothing to come from that play.
I think that's a great play for the Staley defense that forces him out of bounds. Staley kind of gets to keep some timeouts. 1 minute, 21 seconds.
Looks like Lee Summit West wants to go for it here. A stop right here would be absolutely huge, leaving Staley with 1:20 left on the clock, along with starting at the 45-yard line. Risky decision as a coach. Let's see what ends up happening.
If you're Lee Summit West, you're seeing how Bontrager has those explosive plays. You want to give Staley a little bit, that extra distance. Obviously, you don't want to jump off sides here by any of the hard count, but they are going to snap it, play action. Quarterback's going to try to find some room, lets it fly way over top into double coverage.
And is going to try to make the diving catch, ends up getting dropped as he is doubled by Bologna and Kyron Thompson. Looks like he's saying something in the end zone. Can't really say it after a drop like that, though. And now Staley is going to start on the 42-yard line, That
was very interesting there. Thompson really just didn't want to get that pass interference. He played it a little bit soft. And I'd almost say it was almost OPI with the way that wide receiver kind of pushed off. But either way, a great stop by Thompson.
Right here, we're really going to see if Connor Jones has ice in his veins. Is he a minute 12 with 2 timeouts? Can he bring the Staley offense into field goal range, let alone scoring here if we can get an explosive? Ball's going to be snapped, looking to the left side. Sees nothing, is going to roll out, avoiding the sack, and eventually just throws it out of bounds to the Lee Summit West sideline. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 with a minute 4 left in the quarter. Smart decision by Jones, not forcing a ball. An interception there could put the defense in a bad spot.
Great job by the O-line, giving him some time to get through his progressions, but Jones unable to find anything. And once again, he didn't make that mistake that he did. We saw him in the when he had to just come in quick for Colvin, where he kind of takes those sacks. He was able to kind of roll out quick, get that ball out if he did not see anything.
Again, a great stop by the Staley defense, allowing them to keep in reach of this game. It's going to be a minute 4. Connor Jones going to be back to take the snap, but has motion of number 10, Buman. Looks to the right side. Jackson Smith is going to be open and takes it out of bounds on the Staley 41. That's going to leave him with 59 seconds left on the clock. That's going to be a Jackson Smith reception as he runs off the field to the sideline, changing up the formation.
There's just a fantastic corner route by Jackson. Knew he had to get out of bounds, too. You don't really want to use those timeouts, but he used all of that to just get into Lee Summit West territory and beyond. It was a great job by the tight end.
You can tell Connor knew what was going to be open as he doesn't even look to his 3-receiver side there, as we have Stone and Hibbard brought in on the right side, looking to the right side for both of them, and Hibbard drops the ball of what would have been a sideline catch. Looks like it's a little far, hard to bring in from Micah Hibbard. Played receiver last year, but has found a new role in the Staley defense as a safety, but still coming in this 2-minute drill situation along with Stone, bringing in a big 6'5" frame for some big jump balls downfield.
Connor definitely had to sling that thing in there as that corner was playing real tight onto Hibbard. Try to get that out route, just couldn't quite fit it. Same formation here with an empty backfield.
2nd and 10, looking to the left side, doesn't have anything. Connor rolls out, and Kennison Stone is going to drop the ball of what would have been a gain of about 2 yards.
I almost want Connor to run there. He had a little bit of blocks to give him some space, but obviously he sees the tight end, who is much, no offense to Connor, better suited to run with the ball.
3rd and 10, always a weird situation in the 2-minute drills. You don't want to give the other offense time to go up and put points on the board, but you also want to give yourself an opportunity to put up the points yourself. And we'll see what Staley does here as they 3 receivers out to the left. Ballou still in the backfield. Let's see what they end up doing.
Wouldn't be
Connor Jones takes the snap. Going to be a passing play. Breaks the sack, looking downfield. Isn't going to see anything. Spin moves a defender and ends up getting a 4-yard gain, but there is going to be a flag down in the backfield.
Connor was able to make some room out there, but none of his receivers he was unable to find any of his receivers.
What would have been field goal range for the Staley offense possibly might be brought back by the refs, and it looks like it is going to be. And it is going to be holding. Let's see if Lisa West accepts or not. It looks like they're going to accept it, bringing up a repeat third down. Can Connor Jones put this team back in field goal range with 40 seconds left in the second half, or in the second quarter?
You're looking to find Jackson Smith. You're looking to find Luke Bontrager. Just someone who can get them close to that 20-yard line marker and even beyond that. I would have almost considered running the ball there on that third down. They had 3 down linemen and a single linebacker, and if you don't get it, you can call a timeout. But now it is 3rd and 20.
Motion from Buman on the right side, looking for the screen, not going to be there. Going to be a screen to Ballou, gets downfield, he runs, that'll at least be a first down, and goes out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. A great drawn-up play by the offensive coordinator for Staley right there. It's exactly what you want to see in a long situation like that. Now 21 seconds left on the clock, looking at a possible touchdown now, if not a field goal.
Just a fantastic slip screen by Ballou, able to find open area and got some blockers ahead of him and just ran upfield, ran with purpose, and got out of bounds after, of course, getting that first down. Now, again, wouldn't be opposed to running it. You got some timeouts here for Staley. 20 seconds is not a lot of time, but you just kind of want to get into that range. Of course, no, they drop back with Connor. He's going to roll out left.
Looking downfield, bobbles off a receiver, and that's going to be touchdown number 2 for Luke Bontrager. I've never seen a play like that in my days. Hits a receiver's hands, bounces off him, and that is going to be a touchdown. What was a 21-7 game looking dim for Staley is now going to be 21-16 with 11 left going into the half, and now going to be a chance to make it 21-17. Absolutely crazy touchdown. It's now going to be number 2 on the night for Luke Bontrager.
I was left completely speechless. Who was he targeting on that one? It obviously fell into Luke Bontrager's hands, but was that Hibbert he was targeting, or Ewan McCoy?
I believe it bounced off the hands of Ewan McCoy as he was wrapped up by his defender, but hitting the hands and the shoulder pad at the same time created some elevation, and Luke is able to go and play the ball.
I mean, that tip ball drill was executed perfectly. I was just left speechless. Connor, I was almost tempted to say that it was intentional grounding. He was over the line of scrimmage, but he did a great job with that throw on the run. I was thinking he was going to run for it, but he saw something we didn't. Ewan McCoy, a little bit unlucky there, was wrapped up by his defender, as you said, Holden. It was able to, but it bounced right off of him, right into the hands of Bontrager, who was at the 3-yard line and just kind of walked in the end zone from there. I mean, that is exactly, maybe not how you wanted to get it, but it's actually what you needed to get with 11 seconds left now in the first half.
You know, Staley's mindset right there is a touchdown's a touchdown. No matter how you got it, the scoreboard says it was a touchdown, a reception, and was not deflected, is what the stats are going to say. That's now going to be 11 seconds left. Lisa West will be able to have a return. Let's see if it will be for anything. Looks like we're going to go for a 2-point conversion here. Motion from Jackson Smith and Bontrager to make it a 3-receiver side. Looking right. Luke Bontrager not open downfield. Connor breaks a sack, puts the balls up. No pass interference called. Looking for it. Luke Bontrager leaps for the ball. Was not able to bring it in.
I guess that is the right decision, because if you get that, you're only down by 3. And even if you go for the extra point, you're down by 4, and that's still a pretty much a single possession. You're down by a single possession. But either way, just a great way to end this first half for the Staley offense.
It's now going to be 11 seconds for Lisa West in the return team here. As long as this kickoff team gets a quick and early stop, clock should be ran out, and that's going to start the half.
After seeing the squibs from Hutchcraft, it would appear that would be what he's going to go for here as the kickoff unit for Staley trots out onto the field. And I'm I'm still left speechless after that play. I mean, I feel like that's 1 in a million. That's like a top 10 on Sports Center. But as you said, it's still a touchdown in the score, right? It's a screaming line drive in the box score.
Again, play is not over until that ball is down, and that's just a great example of that. That's why players have to always finish with the ball in their hands as going into the end zone, holding on to the ball even whenever you're trying to chew out clock until you are down or until that ball is down. It's still alive, and that's a great example right there. Lisa West looking to get a return, but is eventually going to be pushed out of bounds by Caden Diven at the 43-yard line, running off 6 seconds there. Going to be 5 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if Lisa West goes for a shot downfield or just takes the easy knee and brings it into half.
I mean, you got the arm of that quarterback we saw on that 4th down. He got that ball into the end zone, into that double coverage, of course. But he can definitely take a shot here, and you want to just kind of take away that momentum that Staley had. So as we can see now, it looks like kind of a prevent defense as number 7.
Kennison Stone and Kennison Stone, Micah Hibbard, and Nick Bologna is going to be back in the prevent, along with Logan Thom and Kyron Thompson and Derek Homer on the next level. It's going to be a timeout, I believe, for the Staley Falcons. Not really set yet. 4 seconds left on the clock.
So after making Hibbard, Bologna, and Stone run all the way back to that end zone, they got to get back into the huddle. Just getting a little bit of cardio in before they head into the locker room for the halftime break.
Look like head coach Drew Hudgens is talking to the Staley defense about the situations and getting the ball down in the Hail Mary situation, wanting this team to know their jobs, know their roles, know their responsibilities before going out to this Hail Mary situation. Looks like this will be the play to end the half if that ball gets elevated into the air. Same formation dropping back, along with A.J. Gowen moving to that second level.
Looks like same 3 down linemen, a single linebacker, and then from then, it's just, I don't even, like levels.
And it's going to be a run to the running back, prevent downfield. All they need to do is get him out of bounds, tries to break a tackle, but is eventually going to be brought down by Logan Thom at the 27-yard line, and that's going to bring it into half. Again, just a stat pattern right there. Whenever you run the ball in a situation like that, you're just patting the stats, no impact on the scoreboard, and that's how we're going to go into half.
That was a good hit by Logan, and it could have been what could have been a very difficult position for Staley to fight back from. We're going 21-16 into the half, and the Falcons get ball at the beginning of the third quarter. So we'll see you after those 20 minutes.
I stumbled on some words a little bit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to right before we start this second half of football here at the Staley Falcons home stadium. It is 16-21. I'm your host, Andrew, with my co-host here tonight,
Holden Tidwell. Back to return, we have Kyron Thompson and Luke Bontrager to start the second half.
Now, a relatively interesting first half. It was looking bad for Staley, down 7-21 at one point. Able to claw back here and get it to 16-21 as the kickoff is taken
by Thompson. Finds a hole downfield, makes another man miss, but ends up getting tripped up. Going to be down at the 30-yard line.
Great return by Thompson, just not able to get too much more out of it, but relatively great starting fielding position for this, hit or miss Staley Falcons offense.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. Let's see if this Staley offense can keep it rolling after two back-to-back scoring drives last time they were out there. Keeping it going would be huge. An opportunity to take the lead here going out into the second half. Only down 5. Could make it a 2-point game.
We'll have to see what this offense led by junior quarterback Connor Jones can do tonight with a running back in the backfield. It's going to be a quick handoff.
Quick handoff. Looks like it's going to be a 2-yard gain, bringing it to 2nd and 8 to start the second half.
Trying to set the tone was number 28,
Lance Holstead. Lance Holstead starting off the half versus regular running back Nick Ballou. Let's see if he can take some more carries going into the second half following a turf toe injury to start the season.
Connor back in the gun with a tight box.
Going to be looking at that left side. Sees a receiver downfield. Going to be wildly overthrown. Misread. Bontrager wants to break inside. Looks like Connor was looking for him on the outside of that. Communication on that route.
Bontrager had his man beat inside, kind of on that post route that got Staley twice. Once that resulted in a touchdown in the first half, and one that resulted in a first down.
Looks like it possibly could have been an option route there. Connor Jones puts it in the air before his break, but Bontrager elected to go inside of his man. Connor's going to roll out, looks downfield, tries to elevate, but Ewan McCoy, and ends up getting deflected by a Lee Summit West defender, number 21, Jacob Taylor Brown, senior DB.
Had some options on that kind of levels concept, as when he rolled out left, you had Bontrager and then McCoy, kind of one level and then 2 levels. Bontrager almost looked open, but it looks like Jones was looking for that deeper route. Problem is that corner dropped back into that coverage and helped out to make that double coverage, and now Staley's punting.
Early punt from the Staley offense. Things like this, it really makes it so this Lee Summit West team is, technically starting 2 halves with the ball whenever things like that happen, but a great roll from the Caden Diven punt is going to give them the ball on the 28-yard line. Caden Diven had some great punts so far, pinning them back twice on their 3-yard line. Done a great job stepping up in a roll back there after Draven Colvin got injured.
Diven making use of his position right now. Just doing a great job. More of a free safety and used on the special teams units, but just great job punting, really, after the injury to Colvin, who was kind of the main punter. He's kind of stepped into that and turned this into a really, really good job that allows the defense to get better positioning.
This defense hopefully being able to get another stop, is obviously they stopped this team in a 2-minute situation of what could have made it a 3-possession game, making it now a 1-possession game after going into half. So a great start from the defense, but it looks like it's not going to be a great start as the running back's going to break downfield, eventually tracked down by A.J. Goen. A huge run going to be taken to the other 38-yard line. A.J. Goen with some speed, catching up to him there.
Hurry up offense here. Kinnison Stone kind of bit on that jet sweep and allowed the running back to get an upper hand. They're going to give it to the running back again. This time, he's going to go nowhere but backwards. The defensive line all over that one.
Yeah, Derek Homer there, grabbing the legs, and Nick Bologna finishing on top. A great way to respond to a quick snap for a tackle of loss by the two guys.
Now 2nd and 11, you put a little bit of a stopper on that quick hurry-up offense that Lee Summit West was starting after that breakout run.
Gonna have 3 down D linemen, 1 coming off the edge, and Keegan Wink trying to get some pressure here. Going to be a quarterback option, a quarterback we haven't seen yet, number 16. Look like it's going to be Noah Herrera, looking like a running quarterback for this Lee Summit West offense in the option.
Interesting decision, as now the other quarterback is back in, number 4, Dawson Edwards, the senior quarterback. Looks like they just brought him in for a nice... But never mind. Now Dawson Edwards is lined up at wideout. He's actually the slot wide receiver in this play. And the quarterback is number 16, Noah Herrera. Very interesting decision.
This Lee Summit West offense has been full of trick plays so far. I think the quarterback being out there is just a distraction, and as I assumed it was right, it's going to be a regular handoff to number 13 for a 7-yard gain. Going to make that 7-3 for Lee Summit West. Now in the Staley red zone.
That was a great block by Dawson Edwards, who was lined up there against the corner of Staley, and just a huge size mismatchup. The corner just did not have a strong chance against that 6'5" frame. Luckily, the rest of the Falcons were able to swarm to that and only let them get 6, as now they are on the Staley 20-yard line.
It's going to be 2nd and 4. We got 2 running backs in the backfield looking to get snapped. A.J. Goen rolled down the left side of the formation. Motion from the receiver. Fakes the give twice. Looks downfield. And that is intercepted by number 3, Micah Hibbard. Gets hit by 2 defenders and eventually is out of bounds at the 24-yard line. A great lurk by Micah Hibbard.
I mean, he snatched that ball right out of the air. My only concern is that there was a penalty, but they're looking at the Staley sideline saying that Staley's going to decline it. That is a good sign. Intentional grounding, it appears. Illegal man downfield.
Wow. 2 bad plays in one, and Staley's really going to take advantage of that. Obviously, a quick 3-and-out from the Staley offensive start. Not what you want to see, but they're able to put themselves right back in the spot. Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Huge momentum from the interception by Micah Hibbard. It's going to be number 2 on the year for him, and now he's going to be able to transfer that with some momentum going into this next drive. Looks like we are going to have 2 tight ends and on the formation. And 2 receivers put out left. It's going to be a run play to the right side. Trucks a defender, but not too much from it. Looks like it's going to be a 1-yard gain by Nick Ballou.
Yeah, he just had to bowl right through a defensive lineman. But, I mean, just an incredible play by Hibbard. Snatched that ball right out of the air. I barely even noticed. I was like, where did the ball go? I mean, it was a very quick thrown ball, but Hibbard was there with the hands. It just got all around it. And, I mean, able to take it back to Staley's own 22 or so.
Absolutely. Similar formation with the 2 tight ends on the left side now. Trying to get some run going. It looks like it's going to be a jet sweep to Bontrager. Tries to get upfield. Breaks 1 tackle, but not able to break the 2nd. That's going to bring up 3rd and looks like 8 for the Staley offense. Another 3rd down.
Was not opposed to that call. Of course, you're trying to get your best playmaker we've seen so far, Luke Bontrager, into the open field with some blockers. Didn't quite get it as the Lee Summit West defense was able to penetrate pretty well. 3rd and 7 now.
Yeah, in a situation like that as an offensive coordinator, whenever you're looking at a 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7, you're really trying to make it 3rd and manageable. You have your shot downs in 2nd and 2 and 2nd and 3, but situations like that, you really just want to get 4 or 5 yards and put yourself up for an easy 3rd down as Connor Jones gets hit on the throw and it gets spiked into the dirt, and that's going to be in another 3rd and out as the punt team comes out, remaining 21-16 with 7:46 left in the 3rd quarter.
Bit too patient in the pocket. Looks like he found his open man, but it was just a smidge too late. Got his arm hit a little bit. And now we're punting once again, 4th and 7 from Staley's own 25. Not able to do much with the interception from Hibbard, but Divin, the fabulous punter of the Falcons.
Hopefully other to get another great punt here. Almost blocked. And it is going to be try to return. Number 9, again, a negative return. 2nd negative return of the game for him. not been able to make too much as this punt team has been all over him so far tonight. See some chippering in the backfield, but there is no flags on the play. Lee Summit West is going to be starting with the ball on the 46-yard line.
Divin trying to take advantage of that roll. It was scooped up by the punt returner as he did not want to have that roll all the way to about the 25 is what I would estimate it was going to go. Now the Staley defense is on the field, and they're going to try to give the opportunity back to the offense. And offense right now just haven't found the exact rhythm they need. Some pretty good plays, but this defense, as usual, will need to step up.
Really seen this left side of this D line working, and Keegan Wink and Kellen Vega have had some big plays. Haven't seen too much from DeJuan Morrison or Owen Nelson yet. Looks like there's going to be a ball on the ground. Staley wants that ball. Looks like the refs are going to be talking over it, yet to point. And it looks like it's going to be recovered by Lee Summit West down on the 2. Absolutely stuffed by the D-line. Again, on what I was saying, you know, this Lee Summit West really trying to get the run play to the left side away from Staley's two playmakers and Kellen Vega and Wink.
I mean, that defensive line is a great factor for Staley and some of the plays they've been able to make this season. It's going to be a jet sweep handoff, little bobble on it.
Jet sweep pitch, actually. Bologna's going to get it wrapped up, wiggles out, and is able to get some extra yards on the plays. He doesn't get hit from the front.
Some sort of triple option, I guess, after the jet sweep and turned into a speed option. Very interesting. Another one of those tricky plays that the Titans like to run so much. It does give them a first down, and they are now in Staley territory. Defense has to hold him here.
That's really why you have to finish piles, things like that. Nick Bologna really getting him wrapped up of what could have been a short game. Turns into a first down by a missed tackle and an extra breakage for an extra 4 yards. It's going to be a run up to the middle to number 13, Caden Chi.
Great job by the Staley defense, kind of swarming to that ball and making sure that the running back had nowhere to go but into a Staley defender.
Finally seeing some action from Owen Nelson. Owen Nelson's going to be on the tackle there for the no gain on the play. Not really able to do anything with Caden Goodwin-Vaughn right there. Number 4, Dawson Edwards, yet to see too much on that run game. Let's see if Lee Summit West going to get it working. He's going to be back to take a snap. Got a Y off on the right side. We get a motion from the receiver. Looks like it will be a run to the right side. Double fake out. Ends up going to number 9, trucked by Kyron Thompson, and there will be a flag on the play. Staley defensive coordinator Jeffrey Lister is not going to be too happy with that call on the play. It's going to be unnecessary roughness from Kyron Thompson.
I am a little shocked at that one. The runner was not really going out of bounds. He was definitely still in play. He was aiming towards that direction. But the way that this Lee Summit West offense has been moving, Staley has to hit him. They have been able to make men miss, and if you can't lay the wood to somebody, then the Titans will punish you for it. I just don't see how you can call that unnecessary roughness. It was a very clean hit with his shoulder.
Yeah, I think that ultimately is going to end up being on the helmet-to-helmet contact that was there, along with him almost being out of bounds. But teaching these players to not finish them out of bounds, they will end up being punished. And number 13, Caden Goodwin-Vaughn, is going to be able to find a seam and break that upfield for a Lee Summit West touchdown. Big momentum change on the foul on Kyron Thompson, and they're going to end up capitalizing on it for a touchdown. That's going to be 27-16 with 5:44 left in the third quarter. PAT number 17, Truman Brinton.
After that penalty, man, it just seemed like the energy drained from that defense, and they just kind of let that running back through. That kick is going to be through the uprights, making the score 28-16 now, and just puts the Staley offense in a tough position. They needed to score on that last drive. They just keep getting stalled out. They got to find something a little different.
At this time, we'd like to recognize a few proud sponsors of Staley Football Properties.
A lot of time left in the game. 5 minutes, 44 seconds left in the third quarter. but man, that just kind of sucks the energy right out of this Staley team. The coaches are trying to get them hype backed up. The offense has got to find a rhythm in order for this team to get there. They can't keep having these sporadic, bursts of hope. They got to find some rhythm. The running game has got to get developed, and just a little bit more consistency from Connor is going to be the key.
Down and out so far this season, this team has been really good about creating energy, especially when down 2+ scores. Trying to go out here, the return team, getting the points back on the board, making it a one-possession game again. It's going to be absolutely huge. There's still time left in this game. It's still a balled game. They are not down and out. Let's see if Staley can go out here and get a drive going.
It's going to be a short kick.
Going to be pushed back to Braden Sutko. It's going to be fumbled a little bit on the recovery, and Braden Sutko is going to get trucked on the play, ends up keeping the ball.
And that was a very hard hit by the Titans. Sutko did a great job keeping hold of the ball, but he just put himself right out, and he's just shooting fish in a barrel for the Titans. I mean, either way, though, it's not terrible field position as Staley starts from their own 24. Not exactly what they were looking for. Sutko, of course, it was a really good kick, almost out of bounds, but not quite, and Sutko didn't want to risk it. As Connor Jones now has gun empty in this formation.
Connor Jones in the empty, dropping back, looking middle of the field, steps up. Looks like there's going to be a flag in the backfield. Connor Jones running out of bounds at the 31-yard line, but there will be a flag in the back. Let's see if it is holding.
They're going to get holding, I believe, on that right tackle. I mean, it's just really hard to see these mistakes from the Falcons.
Yep, our thoughts were confirmed. That is going to be holding, bringing him back to first and 20 after a great initial rush from Connor Jones of what would have been 2nd and 3.
Once again, same formation, gun empty, 3 wide receivers on this on the Falcons' left side.
Empty formation again. Connor Jones dropping back, looking, finds an open Micah Hibbard, tries to break to the sideline, and ends up getting brought down. Looks like it's going to be a 5-yard gain for Staley.
Just not quite enough
gonna bring up
out there on that drag.
Going to bring up 2nd and 16.
To the 18-yard line, 2nd down, 16 for the Falcons.
Now we finally got a running back in the backfield on this 2nd and 16.
2nd and 16, you really want to get some initial yards here to set yourself up for 3rd down. You're not going for it all here, but it looks like they are going to drop back, and it is going to be a screen play to Ballou. Finds the edge, gets it upfield, trucks a defender, and that is going to be a big gain on the play. Again, like I was saying, that's going to make it 3rd and 4 versus what was a 2nd and 14. A great gain on the play and a great design screen. As we seen earlier in the game, on a 3rd and 16, they ended up bringing a screen for about 25 yards, ended up being a 1st down, and they were able to execute the same thing right there.
Fantastic job now in the huddle. 3rd and 4. It's going to see what we can do with this arm of Connor Jones and his improvisation, possibly. I would say probably not going to run it, but, you never know. Trying to see some trickeration from this team.
2 tight ends in the formation. Get a motion from Jackson Smith to the other side, and they're going to end up running away from the 2 tight ends. A little bit of misdirection. Let's see if that's a 1st down, and they're going to start moving those chains. That will be a Staley Falcons 1st down. That's a big shift in this game, as Staley really has struggled in these 3rd down situations, punting twice already this quarter. But, getting that shift in energy, needing to go out here and get a score, they're able to convert a 3rd down.
It was a great job by Ballou making that extra effort against that tide of Titan defenders.
Holstead going to be able to roll forward for some extra yards of what would have been a 3-yard gain is now 5 from the extra yardage.
I mean, a great job by Holstead. He ran into that contact. It's so easy, right, to just kind of stay and wait for that contact, but as a running back, you got to run through that. And Holstead, I mean, we're seeing why he was a great running back last year, a great running back this year, even with coming off that injury. Ran right in that contact and makes it a 2nd and 6 versus, possibly a 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8.
That's something you love about these Staley Falcon running backs is they don't ever shy away from contact. Even when the O-line isn't behind pushing, they are still there trying to get something going, still trying to go through a man, but there will be a flag on the play right there. Connor Jones was looking to run with the ball, but there will be a flag on the play, will be stopped before the snap.
It's going to be offsides on the Titans. That the corner on the near sideline having a little bit of a chat with the ref, trying to see what he did wrong. Ref saw something, maybe a little bit of a jump.
That's going to be number 37, A.J. Lindsley, senior DB, ended up jumping offsides on the play there. He's not too happy himself with what happened. That's going to bring up 2nd and 1. Big shot down here for the Staley Falcons. Let's see if they go for it or not. Staley rolls out, looking deep. What did I say? Shot down. That's what happens when you don't have a safety. Absolute legacy game for Luke Bontrager, and that is going to be caught downfield. He's going to be brought down at the... Oh, and it looks like there will be a penalty flag on the play. What was huge is going to be brought back. The play they've been setting up all game might be brought back due to a flag. That's something you don't want to see after a huge change in momentum from an offense.
I mean, Bontrager did a great job working that outside leverage from that corner and keeping it able to get that inside and make it a pretty easy throw for Connor, who's got that arm to make it. But it's just so difficult for themselves because of these penalties. And now it's 2nd and 11 versus 1st down deep into Titan territory, probably in the red zone.
What was a 45-yard throw is now going to be -10 from the 2nd down. Going to be a give to Holstead. Going to try to reach for some extra yards here. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 or 4 yards for Staley right here. Hopefully they're able to convert and not put a dim light on what was just a great play from the Staley offense.
Great run by Holstead once again, dude. He's proven why he's an integral part of this running back core. Just reaching there for that extra effort, making that contact. It's just so great to see him back on this team. And we're going to see what Staley can do. 3rd and 3 now. Once again, no single high safety. I mean, they must see something in the scouting team.
Going to the back. He's going to go climb some yards, and that will be a Staley 1st down. O-line is going to push him forward, and that's the momentum you want to see coming back. Big play, obviously taken back, some loss of momentum on the holding. But now a big play, giving this team some momentum back with a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Still down 2 possessions, but gets a 1st down. It goes past the 50-yard line into some Lee Summit West territory, looking to go out and score.
Great job by, I think that was Ballou, yes. But, I mean, either way, just a great run. This time he's going to get bottled up, but once again going to get a little push, shake off some tackles, and he's just going to fight forward for a yard. That turned from a -1 loss to a yard gain. I mean, it's just those little things that help keep Staley in it.
Looks like we are going to have a Staley player down. It's going to look like number 79 for the Falcons. Believe that's going to be Camden Collins.
That is not what you want to see. Senior 6'2", 280-pound tackle for this offensive line for Staley. Just hope to see that he's all right.
Struggled with some ankle issues earlier this season, ended up coming back, been healthy so far, played all the games regardless of lingering, again, injury on the ankle, but it looks like he's going to be down and out again. Let's see what ends up going on. Looks like he got tangled up in the mesh there of Ballou trying to fight for some extra yards with a bunch of Lee Summit West defenders around it. He's going to be down, but he will be quickly up. Hopefully able to walk himself off of the field. Walking himself off, arms around no one. Looks healthy, looks all right. Hopefully we'll be back this game.
Great job by Collins. Just real good effort by the senior on senior night. 28 seconds left in the 3rd quarter now. And it is 2nd and 9. Staley now into Lee Summit West territory.
It's going to... That is going to leave 26 and running left on the clock. Staley forced to snap the ball before the quarter's up. Ball's going to be snapped. Connor Jones is going to be looking deep. Ball's in the air, and there is going to be some push-off from the defender. The ref will not give that to Bontrager as it was sailed downfield. And there's going to be 13 seconds left on the clock after it. Going to keep it 3rd and 9 for the Staley offense. Wasn't able to get anything there.
I think the ref saw that it was uncatchable, but Bontrager had that speed. It was almost in stride, and that corner just definitely shoved him off his course. I've seen pass interference called for worse. It's just really, really interesting to see. But, I mean, Staley just has to convert this 3rd and 9.
And that is going to be a great throw from Connor Jones. Stiff arm from Buman. But it looks like there is a fumble on the transfer, and that's going to be Lee Summit West football with 4 seconds left in the quarter.
Great throw by Connor, caught by Buman, but some mistake on the far sideline made the ball get loose. And that drive of just a really good-looking drive for the Staley offense, the energy once again just kind of gets drained from the crowd and from the team.
AJ Goen coming off the sidelines, trying to get this team re-hyped up, ready to play some defense, knowing that they have to get a stop here to really keep them in this game before it gets too far out of reach. 28-16, quarter about to an end. Lee Summit West looking to drain some clock out here. Hopefully the Staley defense is going to be able to get a stop.
Herrera is quarterback right now. It's going to be just a handoff, though. It's going to get stretched out to the far sideline.
Ran to number 13. There's going to be a flag on the play, either face mask or horse collar on the tackle. Looks like DeJuan Morrison got a little bit too much of him there.
These flags for Staley have been killer. Not just for, this field positioning, but also just the mood of the team, dude. They'll make a good play, and then it'll get rewritten or messed up somehow. And that's going to put them all the way into right on the cusp of Staley territory on their own 49.
That's now going to be Lee Summit West ball on the 49-yard line. That's not what you want to see. That will be the quarter. Teams are going to be brought back to the sidelines. Some word of advice from defensive coordinator Jeffrey Lister, trying to put a mindset in them that they need to get a stop here. 12 minutes left in the game. That's officially going to start the 4th quarter. Will this Staley team be able to come back down 12 and in a defensive position on their own 49?
I mean, for the Falcons, you really wanted to see that drive turn into something, at least a field goal to bring it down to 9, which doesn't do quite much. It doesn't do as much. But now this defense, they got to get hyped up. They got to get ready to stop the Titans here. Do something again. They need another interception, force some turnovers, play hard-nosed football, and just give the ball back to the offense. That was showing some glimpses of just a real well-run drive.
Number 16, still going to be at quarterback, Noah Herrera, looking to get this running game going. It's really going to be him back there for the rest of this game. He ends up keeping it, tries to find a lane outside, couldn't find it, goes back inside, and is going to be brought down for a little gain. Looks like there's going to be some fighting downfield from number 7, Stone, and the Lee Summit West receiver. Jersey coming off on the contact. Number 25 does not look too happy with Stone.
Tough 4 yards there from Herrera on the keeper, but now once again we're switching back to the senior quarterback.
Number 4 on this 2nd and 6. Going to end up being a give to the back. Number 13, Caden Goodwin Vaughn. And he will be brought down before the first down mark. That's going to be 3rd and 1 here. Will the Staley defense be able to get a stop here? Loading up that box, looking for a blitz. 2 guys coming off the edge. A.J. Goen storms off the edge, and the refs are marking it behind the line. That's going to keep it 4th and 1. A great play by A.J. Goen. The guy really coming out there with some hype to this defense was able to make a huge play and force 4th down.
I mean, that senior leader was quick to recognize that hurry-up offense, got himself on the edge, and the safety was able to come down and play that man coverage. But Goen was able to recognize that it was going to be that tricky play. Heavy set. I mean, they're definitely going to go for it.
Lee Summit West bringing out their big boy set again. The ball's going to be to number 4. He runs it to the other side. Logan Thom makes the tackle, but they are going to mark it a yard past the first down mark. What would have been a huge stop for the Staley team gets faked out on the quarterback going the other way, and Logan Thom was not able to get there in time.
And that was a really tough yard and a half that the Titans had to earn there. The Staley defensive line does very well against that heavy set, but they just couldn't quite get that large quarterback stopped before the first down marker snap was taken.
Snapped, fakes the rollout and gives it. That's going to be Kellen Vega grabbing him in the backfield, and he's going to try to get a little bit more, but only ends up bringing it back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 with 9:44 and running left in the 4th quarter. Staley's really going to need a quick stop here if they're going to want to be able to put together 2 drives for this offense, not just time for 1.
I mean, they know that offense has a chance. They were putting together a really good drive. They just got to get that ball back quick. Play some good defense here. 2nd and 10. The snap is taken. Drops back. But he's going to flip to the other side of the field. That ball's going to be short.
Looks
and
for
they're marking incomplete.
Will be ruled incomplete. Was caught behind the line of scrimmage on the diving play, but I think they want that to hit the ground there instead of taking the loss, and the refs know that too. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10. A stop here forces a hand from Lee Summit West that I don't believe they're willing to give, and they will punt if Staley can force the ball out right here. An interception would be the best case scenario here. Micah Hibbert obviously with an interception so far in the game. Let's see if we can pick up a second.
The Staley
ball will be snapped. It will be a pass play. Looking to the middle of the field. There is no one. He's going to roll out to the right side. Looks deep. Slings it downfield. Stone won't be there. He ends up keeping it in his hands. And 25. Life Byers is going to be a touchdown for Lee Summit West. A little bit too much time in that pocket, and the quarterback ends up finding someone downfield. In a situation like that, you can't even blame the defender. You got to blame the D-line for not getting there in time.
Staley sends 5, but that offensive line picks it up real nicely and just gives that quarterback way too much time in the pocket. 34-16 now as Lee Summit West looks to make it 35.
Staley's going to need a quick score here coming off the return if they are going to want to stay in this game. It's going to be quick football and quick stop football for this defense if they want anything. There's going to be a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be on DeJuan Morrison, and it will be applied to the kickoff if so.
I mean, both teams are getting a little chirpy down there. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Staley side.
Going to give them a shorter field to return with as this Lee Summit West kickoff is going to be able to start closer to them. Return team coming back, hoping to get a big return here, and if so, hopefully bringing it to the house is the best thing you can ask for from this return team. Been explosive so far. After some defensive plays with Kyron Thompson, looks like he might not be heading back there, and that's going to be Ewan McCoy, number 14, back there replacing him, making Luke Bontrager now the returner 1 for the kickoff team. And that's also going to be Logan Thom going back pretty deep and setting up with them. Gives
this Lee Summit West Titans kicking unit a good chance to just pin Staley back deep. It's going to be a short one, though.
It's going to be short. Thumb and McCoy go for it, and it bounced off both of them. Luckily, Bontrager's able to get to the other side and get on the ball before it's Lee Summit West. That's going to leave 9:02 on Staley's 14-yard line to go and try to make something of this dim game.
Ball lands in kind of a no-man's land where it just kind of bounces in a rough pattern that bounces off of McCoy. And all Bontrager can do is fall on it to make sure nothing disastrous happens. Here we go now as the Falcons offense takes the field deep in their own territory, their own 14-yard line. This is going to be a heck of a drive if they can pull it off. Connor takes snap, rolls out left. He's going to let it fly to Bontrager.
Great catch by Bontrager. Bontrager able to stay in bounds and get some extra yards.
Great out route to Bontrager that gives them a first down. A nice fast-paced throw there. Well-timed and well-paced by Jones. And now the clock, I believe, does stop after that first down and the out-of-bounds running by Bontrager.
You know, right here, this Staley team's going to need to keep getting out of bounds. His timeouts cannot be wasted as they have to save them for the defense whenever they can't control the clock as much. So Staley's going to have to prioritize getting the ball quick, getting out of bounds, and Connor Jones is going to have to find things on the sideline and make things situations that aren't there, as he does again. Doesn't see anything downfield and ends up throwing the ball out of bounds instead of scrambling it all. Breaks a sack.
Well out of the pocket, so it was not intentional grounding, but no receivers were over in that vicinity. But a great job, once again, by Connor, escaping that pressure and just making sure that, you know, the clock does stop and it's only 2nd and 10, and instead of getting sacked and kind of taking momentum away from this drive so far.
We're going to have 3 receivers split out to the right side. That's going to be Buman, McCoy, and Bontrager. Again, Lee Summit West still rushing 5. Staley blocking 6. Still trying to get some pressure. Connor Jones looking. It's going to be Buman on the jump ball. Able to catch it, but that's only going to be a 7-yard gain. It's going to be
catch by Buman.
8:30 running on the clock. That's going to make it 3rd and 4 on the 6-yard reception for Buman. Quick snap for the Staley Falcons. The 3 to the open side of the field now with Ballou behind Jones.
Once again, rushing 5.
And number 58 jumps offside. That is going to be Jackson Mayberry for Lee Summit West, which will convert it for a first down for Staley.
You can see the great discipline, though, from the Staley offensive line. They were not at all disturbed by that movement from the D-line. They were just completely waiting for that cadence from Jones and making sure that they all get set and ready when Jones hikes that ball.
Clock is going to keep running here. 8:05 left on the clock. 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line. 3 receivers to the open side. Some motion from Lee Summit West. Only sending 4 this time. Connor's going to have some more time. Still rolls out to the right. Doesn't see anything. And ends up tripping out when he tries to put his foot in the ground. And is going to end up taking a 12-yard sack on the play. That's going to make it 2nd and 21.
Connor Jones just not able to get good footing there, and he's going to take a really difficult sack that puts Staley in a tough position. 2nd and 22 after finally getting that first down. They're way back deep in their own territory. Once again on their own 25. He takes the snap.
Connor Jones in the empty, looking deep, and it's going to be short to McCoy as he doesn't want to leave it hanging. That's going to be 7 minutes left. This clock is just running for the Staley offense. That's not what you want whenever you're trying to put a drive together to get back in this game.
It was a really good route, but that ball was just too short for McCoy to grab it. And, I mean, on this 3rd down, you're looking for a route similar to that to make some plays happen, but it's 3rd and 22 deep in your own territory. You're going to have to do something. Get the ball to Bontrager, McCoy, someone who can make people miss.
Absolutely. I mean, this isn't 4th down, but Staley's going to have to step up and at least do something and get some yards here if they're going to want to keep this drive going. And he is going to find Buman downfield initially in his hands. but it is going to be a drop ball as he gets hit and his feet get wiped out on the transfer. And it looks like Staley's going to bring out the punt team instead of going for it as they're on their own 25-yard line.
And that is just really difficult. I mean, Staley, it was a great throw, and it looked like a great catch, but he got tripped, and he must have lost the ball in transition. And now the punt team is back out on the field.
There's going to be a timeout, Lee Summit West, as they had 13 men on the field as there was some jogging off as the ball is snapped. That's going to give a quick breather for this team going into the defensive drive. That's going to be Divin back there to punt. Hopefully able to get a punt off, a quick transfer to the Staley team to give them an opportunity to go out and score again, as that was a dim drive.
And I think Staley just tonight, it's definitely not over, but you really wanted to score on that drive. Defense is going to have to force a quick turnover, but the odds are dimming with each second that passes, and it's just so many small errors tonight. It's just been killer as this Lee Summit West's team has been able to take advantage of that.
Lee Summit West coming back onto the field, still in the punt formation. Looks like they're putting two back to return. It's going to be 9 and 15. Number 9, Chris Harris, and number 15, Drew Grauberger. A little bit different of a return look. Divin's not going to be able to place this exactly where it wants. Bit of a high snap, but it's going to end up being short, rolling, but number 37 is going to end up grabbing it for no return. It's going to be number 37, A.J. Lindsley.
Not the punt that Divin wanted there after a high snap, and he's just able to get it off. Looks to get that nice roll, but it's snatched by 37 as they're able to make sure that Divin doesn't use that roll he's been able to create so well tonight.
Staley is going to need a stop here if there's going to be any light in this game at all. Coming out here, Staley defense really going to be focused on stopping this run. Have some big boys out there with number 2, Corey Lillis, a 220-pound running back, and then their quarterback, Dawson Edwards, 225 pounds. Getting the big guys out there, really trying to make this run game. But it's going to be a keeper by the quarterback to no avail. Going to be brought down a little bit behind the line of scrimmage, and that's going to keep it 2nd and 10.
Great job of the defensive line, and you're looking to get a punch on that ball. They're going to use that 6'5" quarterback that they have to just kind of try to, ice this game a little bit and make sure that clock just keeps ticking. But Staley did a great job on that quarterback keeper on that fake jet sweep.
Going to keep this clock running. It's going to be 6:23 left for Lee Summit West. It's going to be a new quarterback in the game. A little bit of a weird look here. Looks like it's going to be a wide receiver. Number 9 taking it. It's going to be Chris Harris, receiver. He's going to take it through a seam and jog upfield and take that in for a touchdown.
Did a great job on a kind of pseudo screen where he just kind of got out there and used the blocks on that right side that Staley just wasn't quite ready for. Able to speed through quite a few the Staley defenders and get it to the end zone.
Of what was a 21-16 game at half is now 41-16. Staley still yet to score this half, and Lee Summit West putting on 3 touchdowns since the beginning of it. Staley defense not been able to do too much, but along with no help from Connor Jones. That kick is going to be high, and it is going to be good. That's going to make it 42-16 with 6 minutes left in the game.
The halftime was not the boost that Staley needed. It seemed to be just the drainer. And now they came out here and just have kind of fallen apart. They've had some glimpses of hope, but the defense has just been unable to stop the Titans' offense.
going to be McCoy and Bontrager back to return. Ball's going to be kicked. It's going to be high in the air. It's going to be Ewan McCoy's ball. A little high on the transfer. Looking for a seam. Gets downfield. It's going to end up bringing it to the 30-yard line.
To the 30-yard line.
And now the Staley offense comes back out for just to try to put something together here. See what they can do. 5 minutes and 54 seconds left.
First down and 10 Falcons.
Staley offense coming out after the Lee Summit West score. Connor Jones and Nick Ballou going to be back there. 3 receivers out to the open side of the field. Ball will be snapped to Jones. Looking to the right side, looking for Smith again. He's going to be downfield and drops a very easy ball.
For Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith's going to be mad at himself on that one as that hit him right in both hands.
I mean, it was very similar to that other reception he had earlier in the first half. Great route running, great patience by Connor, great protection by the O-line. Everything kind of clicked. It's just Jackson was not able to get a good grip on that throw. Little screen here as Connor Jones takes it out, and he's going to get a lot of room for Ballou. He's only going to get dragged down by the ankle. And he's going to get across midfield on a nice screen as Connor looks to roll out left like he's done in so many plays, but then cuts it right back to Ballou on a screen that distracted the whole Lee Summit West team. You just kind of wonder where that play was a little bit earlier.
Connor Jones in the empty formation, looking to the right side, quick pass to Bontrager, hit by the defender, but still caught on the sideline. It's going to be a 5-yard catch for Bontrager.
Makes great use there of that out route and had a great catch even while he was getting hit.
5:25 left in the game. The clock will be stopped as Bontrager goes out of bounds. Still going to be a 42-16 game here. Connor Jones breaks the huddle, talking to Bontrager a little bit. Goes to the 3 receivers on the left side again, and Connor Jones seems to be comfortable in this trips formation. Connor Jones looking left, looks at McCoy, isn't there, but Buman is. He takes a bit of a tumble, but still makes the catch as he slides down. It's going to be a 10-yard catch for Buman, making it a 10-yard gain on the play, and that is going to be Staley ball at the 34-yard line.
Great dig route there that Connor was able to find. A little bit behind him, so he on that catch had to kind of stay put and catch it, and it was a little low, but was able to get his hands on it.
Trips formation again. Snap's going to be low. Connor Jones staying composed, looking downfield for Bontrager, trying to get a flag as he dives for the ball. Doesn't get it.
Speaking of flag, there's going to be a holding, and it's going to be another flag on the Staley Falcons. Staley was chugging on pretty well there, but in this late time, just trying to put something together.
The ball spotted at the 43-yard line.
Staley breaking the huddle. Connor Jones back. Now going to have Kennison Stone back out at receiver along with Micah Hibbard for a 5-receiver look. Lee Summit West sending for Connor Jones. Breaks a sack almost, but a second guy gets in there, and Connor Jones takes a sack for about 4 yards as he is able to reach the ball a little bit, but that will make it 2nd and 25 following the 10-yard penalty on the holding.
I mean, his offensive lineman trying to help him there as that defensive lineman gets really good penetration, but he just gets too good of a hold of Jones's ankle. Once again, empty backfield by Connor. Going to take another low snap, but he's going to let it fly on a quick curl route. And number 10 for Staley, wide receiver, it's going to be Caden Buman. He gets absolutely rocked on that quick curl. But that's going to bring it now to 3rd and 21 on a 4-yard gain.
Hibbert and Stone coming off the sideline, going back to the trips look most likely as Smith and Ballou come back on. Ballou is actually going to be spread out this time in an empty look with Smith off the line.
Jones takes the snap.
Looking downfield, McCoy through the middle, but the ball is dropped. Not what you want to see in that 3rd and long situation. That's going to bring up 4th and 21 with 3:41 left in the game. Staley forced to go for it here, taking off Smith and Ballou, bringing back on Hibbert and Stone.
I mean, that would have set up a really nice 3rd down, pretty short, or a really nice 4th down, pretty short, maybe a 4th and 5, 4th and 7, around that area. But now it is 4th and 21, and I mean, at this point in the game, 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. You got to go for it. Connor takes a snap. Quick pressure by the Lee Summit West lineman. Lets it fly, though, way across the field. It's going to be off target and picked off.
It's going to be intercepted by the Lee Summit West defender. Juke Stone trying to make something and ends up getting a 10-yard gain on the interception. It's going to be intercepted by number 6, Jonathan Pantel, but there will be a flag down on the play.
Not entirely sure what went on there near the interception. Just a lot of high emotions after this game has not gone Staley's way.
After what was a one-possession game and a half, obviously a lot of emotions here. Lee Summit West obviously making the better adjustments at half compared to the Staley team, as they have not scored since that final drive in the 2nd quarter.
Looks like the Staley offense is staying on the field. It's going to be roughing the passer, which will give them another opportunity here to see what they can do.
You know, in downers like this, that's the only thing you can ask for on a play like that, especially on 4th and 21, making this 4th down a lot easier for this team. That's going to bring it back up, and it looks like it's going to be 4th and, I believe, 8 for the Staley team. Excuse me, 4th and 7.
Staley now the opportunity to see if they can stat pad a little bit. 3 minutes and a half left in this game.
The roughing the passer is going to make an automatic 1st down. Trips coming out. Connor Jones back to take the snap. Bailed out a little bit on the flag call. Looks for Bontrager, isn't there, and Bontrager is hit after the ball. Wants a flag but does not get it. A little bit of a late hit by Drew Grauberger. Coaches are not happy with that one.
Connor now up to the line of scrimmage with Ballou in the backfield. 3 wide receivers set with Smith as tight end.
Motion from the receiver. Looking to the left side, isn't there. Looking for Smith, and he oversells it downfield. It's going to be intercepted by number 46, Jaden Rousseau. And this is going to be the 2nd time it was intercepted that drive. Obviously, the first one not counting after the flag, but that will be Lee Summit West ball after that, as Jackson Smith does not take the angle that Jones was anticipating.
Jones was looking for a more vertical aspect to that corner, while Jackson Smith turned it into more of a pseudo out route. But that's pretty much going to put the nail in the coffin here, as Lee Summit West is definitely just going to run the clock out. It's going to be a handoff here to Lee Summit West. It's going to drag along some Staley defenders with him. It's going to get a gain of about 8 yards. And that clock is just going to keep ticking now past 3 minutes. 2nd and 2 on Lee Summit North's own 24.
Staley not looking to call any timeouts here, just letting Lee Summit West run this clock. Hopefully stopping them from any more stat padding, but that will be a game Staley unable to make a comeback together. Obviously, with the poor defensive performance in the second half, along with no points scored in the second half. That's obviously a quick recipe for a loss.
That's going to be a first down for the running back. A good stop by the defensive line, but 2 yards is pretty much a gimme for that running play.
Kellen Vega on the tackle. That's now going to be first down. Lee Summit West now going under 2 minutes almost with 2:05 left on the clock.
Going to be another handoff after a jet sweep motion. It's going to be dragged down after a gain of 0.
Taken down at the line. It's going to make it 2nd and 10. 1:30 left on the clock. Not too much game left here.
Snap is taken. Just another quick handoff kind of towards the outside, but he's going to get wrapped up quickly and lose 2 yards.
Lewis with the stop. In the backfield, 2 yard loss of the play. And that brings up 3rd down and 12 for the Titans.
3rd and 12. Staley defense hopefully trying to get a stop here before the game ends. Obviously 40 seconds left in this game. This will be the last snap.
With 8 seconds left on the play clock, snap is going to be taken. It's going to be a keeper by the quarterback on the play action. And he's going to be wrapped up and taken down roughly.
There's going to be a flag on the play on the foul on the offensive lineman. Keegan Wink gets his 2nd sack of the game. Offensive lineman not too happy with that. Ends up shoving Wink. Wink doesn't do anything back, but that will bring Lee Summit West back even farther than they already were after the sack. Not the discipline you want to see from your offensive line.
I mean, even in 16 seconds, you got to make sure this team stays disciplined because you got to be playoff ready. And the Titans at this rate are looking on the up and up after starting right now going into this 2-4. Now they're back into it. Looking like they're going to be 3-4. After this game, they've got 2 more games ahead of them.
The ball is placed at the 8-yard line.
Ball on the 8-yard line. That's going to make it 3rd and a country mile.
And they're keeping the clock running. I think Lee Summit West is just going to let this end. That will be your final here in the Falcons home stadium, 42-16 after Lee Summit West runs away with it. That will make Staley 2-5 and Lee Summit West 3-4 on the Staley Falcons senior night. Maybe not the result the Falcons wanted to see, but it was always great being able to call some football here on Friday night. I have been one of your hosts here tonight, Andrew Scott.
And Holden Tidwell.
It was an absolute pleasure, and we hope to see you guys in the future. This was the last home game for the Staley Falcons, but we'll see what we can do later in the season. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. No staying Sunday, San Diego. Shoot, I don't even know where to put my mat, so I'm trying to go down on the field.
How do you do that?
What?
How do they let you on the field?
To say what's up to the player. Well, I don't want to bring my mat down with me, is what I'm saying. I just have to carry it, I guess.
Let's go Falcons!
Oh, all right. I'll see you, Drew.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, stay in your seats. We're about ready to start the 5th quarter with a performance shortly by the Falcon Brigade and Diamonds. Please welcome back to the field the Falcon Brigade and Diamonds. The band is led onto the field by senior drum majors Madeline Gow, Madeline Dean, and Carter Walters. Tonight, the band will perform 3 movements of their 4-part competitive festival program entitled Remember When. Selections for this